the wonderful, whimsy, wacky, white-face world of Young Thug and UY Scuti. What up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership. Is this what you wanted? Is this not what you asked for? You got it. It's been a couple years in the making, and we've learned this new wonderful word called rollout. And this album is one of the wackiest rollouts you will ever see. This new world that we're living in under Young Thug, he is reigning supreme in this weird, wonky little place that we've carved out for him. He's named it UY Scuti. It all led up to this, gang. The snitching, the ratting, the phone calls, the leaks. It all led up to this. And could you say you are not entertained? I don't think you can say that if you are a Young Thug fan. This is exactly what we should expect from a guy who made his living being shocking. He wore a dress on the cover, and let's fall back to those days where the internet, the hood, was so split and divided about this man called Young Thug. He had on a dress, gang. He did it more than once. He had on a whole lot of fingernail polish and things of that nature, and it shocked you. Some of you made some of you a little uneasy, and some of you loved it. But at the end of the day, Young Thug has been a shock jock, for lack of a better word, and for a time it was good. We did not have any problem having an opinion one way or the other about Young Thug. You talked about him. Let's just leave it at that. Whether you liked it, loved it, or were indifferent, you still had an opinion, and you said something. Young Thug was one of the most polarizing rappers in hip-hop, and here we go. Let's just say this is no different. Now, I saw this album cover, gang. It is, I don't even know other than awful, right? This is one of the worst album covers. Let's be honest, beyond Joey Badass. I'm going to get into, because so much happened around in regards to this album. I'm going to be here for a while, man. Get you some snacks, man. Listen, some Twinkies, some crab meat. You know what I'm saying? Get something that you like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long Oyster's going to last, but if you can get your hands on some, I'm going to be here for a while, gang, because it's so much wacky nonsense going on with this Young Thug album. And I'm just going to be honest, right? When I saw the cover, it is exactly what you think it is. He lightened his skin to be white, but someone said something so... It was impactful, gang, and I was like, maybe he really did this. Someone said this in the comments, right? And I kind of I wanted to believe it, gang, because I'm like, there's no way. This guy really just trying to be white on his album cover. But someone said in the comments, and it was insightful, he said, maybe he's trying to appear to be staring into the star. So the album is called UY Scuti, and that's the biggest known star in the universe. And when someone said that, I said, yo, what? That's fucking genius, actually. If he's supposed to be staring into the star, the UY Scuti star, then he just poured a fast one on all of us. He's not trying to be white-faced, which is what we were accusing him of. But no, no, Doug came out himself. Let me read what he said, gang. It's insanity, because I was trying to rock with him and give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to read it verbatim what he said, because no, it wasn't nothing deep. It wasn't nothing where he was going to be, this is a different meaning. Nope. He literally said, I want to be the biggest. If you want to be the biggest, go white. So it wasn't nothing to do with no deeper meaning with this. He literally made his eyes blue and made his skin white to shock you, just like the dresses, just like the going butt naked on the album cover. It's all to shock you. So it wasn't nothing deep about it. And I don't know why I thought for a second Young Thug would actually do anything deep. Young Thug is as surface level as it gets. If you look at the concrete, and whatever's on the concrete ain't nothing beneath it, that's exactly what you're getting. So no, this album cover has no deeper meaning. This ain't Kendrick with 4 or 5 different meanings. And sometimes these guys, some of these fans, they do this. They try to make stuff deeper than it is. But no, wasn't nothing deep about it. He just wanted to shock you. So he made an album cover with himself white. End of story. And I got a lot to talk about with this because I never even one time, gang, I'm just going to be honest, take your shot. I know some of you still play this drinking game where you take a shot every time I say, I'm just going to be honest. Well, take your shot because I never once listened to a complete Young Thug album in my life, right? Like Blue said on that Jay-Z song, in my whole life, I never once listened to Young Thug until today, right? And I listened to all 20 tracks. I want to get into that. But this album, now we all know that Young Thug is credited with mumble rap, but this time he's speaking very clearly, right? He's speaking extremely clear, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, but listen, I'm gonna preference this with some of you Young Thugs fans, you eating real good. I am not a Young Thug fan, so I just consume some what they call it, your pointless calories, right? It's like when you're watching your calories, I just consume pointless calories. It did nothing for me. But I'm going to be honest, when I did listen to the 20 tracks, I'm going to get into all that. Yeah, gang, this album, listen, is this what you guys listen to? Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Is this what you guys listen to? Because I listen to different kind of music. I don't consume this, but it sounds like what you're supposed to be consuming as a Young Thug fan. That's what it sounds like, I guess. Like, it got his trap beats, it got his pain music. The pain stuff is the stuff I like. I'm gonna be honest, out of these 20 tracks, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. And I ain't trying to this shit on the album, probably 4 joints, probably 4 or 5. And I get it. I mean, this stuff ain't for me. Like, I don't listen to a lot of trap music. I don't listen to a lot of drill stuff. So some of this stuff ain't even for, but I know what it's supposed to sound like. And when it's done good, it's done good. Some of this stuff sound like almost generic. Like if you were teaching a class, like what we're gonna learn today, we're gonna learn trap music. And then some of this shit is sounding exactly what it's supposed to be. It ain't take no chances, but I want to have this conversation, right? Because so much went down with this whimsical, wonderful album, like off the court and on the court, right? The game time and in the locker room, so much nonsense went on. We had Thug phones calls being released and this. I mean, it's the greatest lead up to an album, but people don't even think this thing on sale even with all that nonsense going on. I don't know, man, where we are, but Thug has released this album. And I want to talk about it because, like I said, it's so whimsical. You got to enter this world. You got to want to be here. You got to want to be in this weird world of whiteface and snitching allegations, and it's just so much nonsense. But let me read this because I listened to the 20 tracks, and I didn't walk away with life-changing imagery about Young Thug, but there's so much that went on. Let me read this. Young Thug returns with Scuti, named after the biggest known star in the universe. The otherworldly legend reflects on his reign at the top and how the past 18 months played a role in his ascension. So I don't know if Young Thug is at the top because of music. I think Young Thug is infamous at the top because of how he got there. It's just a long road. He had a whole thing with Lil Wayne, and he allegedly was a part of Lil Wayne's tour bus being shot up after he was completely jealous of Lil Wayne. He wanted to low-key beat Lil Wayne after a while. First, he went from idolizing him to trying to be his biggest op. And then when that didn't work, when Lil Wayne just moved on, right, he became himself, and he started to be this artist with all these different ways to keep himself relevant. And for a time, it was good. But I feel like after that, then the notorious run as this, for lack of a better word, street kingpin out there calling the shots. He was a shot caller and this, that, and the third. It turned into a whole circus. And then as they do, not the feds, but they came in, scooped them up and was like, listen, we're going to go ahead and sit you down for like 30, 40, 50 years. Like, they tried it, but it didn't work. The case fell apart. I think he became more infamous because of the case. He was already popping in the hood, but the case took him to the next level. A lot of things came to light, and a lot of charges came out, and he ended up getting banned from Atlanta, but he gained his freedom because the case was weak, right? So we have a guy who's a star by default. I'm just going to be honest. I don't really remember a whole lot of big hit records from Young Thug. He had a lot of records that were hood hits, right? I don't know a lot of #1 records from Thug, and I don't know a lot of like 500,000 copies sold the first week from Young Thug. So no, I don't think Thug is on a Drake type of level. Yeah, he's big to hood people, But outside of that, he's vaguely known. Let's just be honest, gang. So, but at the end of the day, he does have he's very well known for off the court antics. Let's just put it like that. Let me continue. Young Thug returns with UY Scuti. His album release features artists like T.I., Mariah the Scientist, who's beautiful, let's just be honest, Lil Baby, Sexy Red, YFN Lucci, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Lil Gotti, and 1300 Saint. Missing from that roster is his twin, Gunna, who probably could have helped this album. Let's just be honest. I think Young Thug is in a drought of creativity. When I listened to this, I didn't really hear much in the lane of creativity. I heard when it did get good, I heard him being kind of retrospective and introspective and remorseful to a degree. And he still took shots. I don't know why people aren't talking. He said it on 2 different records that his brother turned into a rat. Now, I'm like, we weren't talking about that. That story never, because the narrative was that he told his brother to do it. I'm almost certain I heard him say, I told my brother to do that. Go ahead and do it. So now he's saying on this, maybe this stuff was recorded. I don't know what's going on, but he said on 2 separate records on here that my brother turned into a rat. I don't know. Y'all got to do more to explain it and help me out, because that wasn't the narrative a few weeks ago, and nobody's really tapping into that. So I need more clarity on what, like, what's happening. I thought he said on that interview that his mom had 2 sons in jail. So it was only right that one of them did whatever he could do to get out if both of them couldn't be out. So I thought that was what it was. I thought he was cool with that, and he was not cool because Gunna did the same thing, but Gunna did it in a sneaky, slimy way, and he turned his back on him, and he really hurt him bad. I think Gunna really only hurt him bad because, for one, he can't make music with him, and for 2, he wants to put everything on him because when Gunna got out, nobody turned their back on him. Gunna became a bigger star, and it wasn't because of him being some street code, like, you know, some martyr for the streets. He became pretty much, no one cared that he stood up and said YSL is a gang, and I think that bothered Thug more than him actually telling on him, because there were like 20 some other people who said the same exact thing. But let me continue. UY Scuti, Young Thug's 4th solo album and first LP since being locked up, is here, clocking in at 20 tracks. Like I said, I listened to all 20 tracks. The project includes singles Miss My Dogs and Money on Money, as well as features from Mariah the Scientist, Travis Scott, Lil Baby, and more. Now, it may have been the video, right? I'm not a big Future fan, but I'm going to just be honest. Future got the hardest verse on this whole album. I'm just going to be honest. That Money on Money Future verse, to me, one of the hardest verses I've ever heard him spit. And that's just me. You're not going to hear me saying that too much, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think Future got the hardest verse on this album, even over Thug and everybody else. That's just my opinion. I'm just going to be honest. Let me continue. The project arrives after a few delays and marks the rapper's first new long-form release since Business is Business. Sound like an old EPMD. Sound like an old EPMD title. Let me keep it pushing. At long last, Young Thug is back, his first project since Freedom and his 4th studio album in his sweeping discography. After a slight delay, it's landed, and Thugger named the project aptly after the biggest known star in the universe, a red supergiant located 5,900 light years away in the constellation Sectum. Let me see what else is going on, because I think that's kind of genius. I think Thug naming his album after this star, that's clever. I'm going to give him that. I don't find Young Thug to be clever in many situations, but that one I felt was clever. After seeing him interview and after seeing him with these phone leaks, this, that, and the third, Young Thug comes off as just exactly what you expect a Young Thug to sound like. A grown man child in his 30s, still talking like he's in his 20s. He never comes off super overly thoughtful. And he says he thinks a lot. He says he does more thinking than anything, more thinking than talking. And I get it. You got to kind of be somewhat thoughtful to be in this business as long as he has, to be as creative as he is, and to have the fans that he has amassed. So I'm going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But when I hear him talk, he's one of these people that probably does more conceptualizing than actually verbalizing. He probably can think and do these things behind the scenes, come out with these things. That's probably why he doesn't interview much, right? So, because to me, when I listen to him speak, it doesn't sound all that intelligent. But this naming it after this star is extremely, this is a very good way to get the conversation going. I didn't think it's not like some title like Off the Block, like back in the house, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a thoughtful title, and then people are asking, what does that even mean? Which means you're already on to something. Let me continue. Reframing his fall from grace as an ascension back to the top as he pens the landscape of the past year. A time capsule of Thugger's recent trials and tribulations. Scuti is a post-mortem reflection of the rapper's past 18 months. It's been a doozy, gang. We didn't think this guy was going to see the light of day again, and he didn't either. He says many times on his album, he was crying in that cell. That's not what you would expect, right? So I can imagine that you're thinking you're going to be in there for life, but let's just be honest. If you did the things that he is accused of doing, even half of these things, a lot of beef and a lot of chasing dudes around, trying to get dudes put down, I don't think you should cry. I'm just going to be honest. When I don't think you should be fearing for your own life when you did a lot of stuff to jeopardize other people's lives. Let's just be honest. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me continue. Expansive in composition and lyrical references and anecdotes, the project hears Thug's otherworldly sonic capabilities thrive throughout the raw penmanship, shining especially on the solo tracks on the track list. Ninja kicks off with a 2-minute opening of the prosecution's audio, followed by early features from Ken Carson on Yuck and Cardi B on Catch Me I'm Falling. So let's talk about this Ninja thing, gang. Like in this time and space, I know we all can take a joke and we all can ha he he and laugh at some things, but this one ain't funny when he's doing this. Like he's saying this word over and over. This reeks of some Kanye shit. This reeks of some, this is going to be ammunition to these kids on Call of Duty, on in these game rooms, and these kids on Twitch and on Twitter and this, that, that. They're going to love this. I'm talking about the Caucasian kids and the other races, kids that are, they're not necessarily Caucasian, but it's going to be a lot of different walks of life having a blast saying this and making this a part of someone else's life who doesn't want to be called that. This racist trope is gonna cost a lot of, it's gonna cause a lot of pain. It's gonna cause a lot of people to have to deal with something that they shouldn't have to deal with. And this song, I know Young Thug is trying to be creative and provocative, but I feel like this Ninja song is really out of line. It's uncalled for. End of the day, yes, it's going to shock you. You're going to laugh. It's going to be funny at first, and then as you start to hear it and the inflection he's using, and you start to realize, wait, okay, we can handle this because this word don't bother us. But when they start using it against us and this song becomes funny and they start using it on the other side and they start making memes and this, that, and the third with clips of this song, that's when it's going to get real. That's when it's going to start to be like, yo, yeah, he probably shouldn't have done this, because it's going to have some repercussions that's probably not going to fare well for a lot of us, and a lot of people that are of a different ilk and a different color are going to be, they're going to be attacked with this song. Let's just be honest. This is going to be a rallying cry for a lot of people that do not look like us and do not think like us. So no, Young Thug, this was a mistake. You actually set us back a lot with this song, and I know you're going to look at it like it's just a freedom of expression. Well, we got freedom to critique you, and I think that with this one, Young Thug has crossed the line. Let's just be honest. I mean, you can say whatever you want, and it's up to us to police it. But you're on your album cover, you're talking about the only way to go big is to go white. It's nigga logic, it's ignorant, and here we are again with nigga logic and Young Thug right in the front of it. Just like I told you, nigga logic, when I did these other videos about Young Thug, he has not changed or advanced in any kind of way. He still lives by this nigga logic code, and a song like this is exactly what you would expect when someone is running out of ideas, they're running out of creativity. This is what you would get. But let me continue. And no, I do not agree with the track, but that's just me. Let me continue. He goes on a solo run for a bit before introducing new features from T.I., Mariah the Scientist, Lil Baby, Sexy Red, YFN, Lucci, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Lil Gotti, and 1300 Saint. So the two Mariah the Scientist songs are two songs that I find to be very pleasing because she's got such a great voice. I'm just going to be honest. And in the words of Young Thug, and these are his words, not mine, got these hoes laughing at you. I know some of you hoes are laughing at her, this, that, and the third. I really don't understand. Let's just be, okay, let me just say this. I don't understand why maybe this stuff was recorded before it could really be old stuff that they recorded months ago, which is possible. But to go back so quickly after the tapes are released and Thug is clearly talking to other females, which we already heard months ago before he even got out that it was other females, this, down the third. But to have that stuff leaked and to be so embarrassing, let it cool off. Like, I'm sure she had to clear these vocals, gang. I'm sure that she's trying to be a part of the healing process in that third. But at the end of the day, let this stuff cool off. She just brought him out on stage a couple days ago, and the crowd went dead silent. They were like, "What is happening? Why are you bringing this guy out?" So it's too soon. Let the fans, let the consumers see a little bit of like separation. Let them at least look like you thinking about, you know what I'm saying? You thinking about the shit going down. Like, it's like she put zero thought into it. She just ran right back to the dude after the tapes leaked, this, down the third, after she was caught on tape on a hot mic, like she's on a hot mic saying some little crazy stuff about, was it Glorilla or something like that? And distance yourself a little bit. I'm sure her PR team has told her, like, let's distance ourselves a little bit. I don't think she's listening. She's running out there and she's on these 2 songs, which she's like, again, she sounds great. She fired to me, but at the end of the day, you gotta learn to protect yourself sometime, because this looking like, let's just be honest, this could be Offset and Cardi all over again, part 2, where he does what he does and you just keep following him until you can't take it no more. 3-4 babies later, you know what I'm saying? Then whatever it is, what it is. I just think you got to protect yourself a little bit. But like I said, her songs are two of the 4-5 songs that I think could even work on here. And I don't think that's a good ratio when you're saying 5 songs out of 20. But again, this album made for me. This wasn't made for me. This was made for you. And you over there. All of you guys, you should be happy. This is your guy. You were waiting for this. You were waiting for this. Why Scuti? This is for you. This is what you've been asking for. So it is what it is, right? Let me continue. It takes the rapper 8 songs to make mention of Gunna, bringing in the rap references on Sad Slime with Future featured on Money Money landing as track 19, and Miss My Dogs poignantly closing it out. So yeah, I don't know. So it sounds like Young Thug's all over the place, where one song he's a rat, next song I miss my twin. It's just kind of all over the place. And maybe he's not talking about him when he says his twin, but it sure does sound like it. You know what I mean? And he's talking about just various things. He's saying that his girl went back with her ex, this, down the third. It's just a lot of things he's saying that are just, he throws them out there. He don't give you no more context, just throws them out there and keeps it moving. It's like, damn, dog, like, are you heard about this shit? Or like, are you mad or upset? He just says these things and he just keeps it moving. And it's just like, I get it. You're not going to dwell on shit, but at the same time, you're not giving us no context. So it's just like, you're just saying stuff to say it. And I guess we just supposed to eat it up. It is what it is. Let me continue, gang. So let me see. Pardon My Back, that features Lil Baby. Mommy featuring Sexy Red. I can't tell you nothing about Sexy Red's verse. I don't even remember it. I'm just gonna be honest. I thought 21 was. I usually like 21 Savage's verse, and it was just okay this time. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I said, Future got the best verse to me. The Miss My Dogs, I like the vulnerability of it. I told you, I always say I like pain music. So he really in pain on that joint. And I'm not sure how real Thug's pain is. I'm sure he hurt to a degree, but some of the stuff, he done it so coldly and he was so blunt about it. I don't know if he regrets anything he said. I just think he may regret that the shit got out. I'm just going to be honest. Let me continue. Production was handled by ATL Jacob, London on the track, TM88, Wheezy, Southside, and Metro Boomin, among others. So this is where it gets kind of tricky, because there's so many little extra things that came along with this album that people had to talk about. Like I mentioned earlier, the cover, right? The whimsical, wacky, white-face cover, people had a problem with it. Let me read this, right? And as we continue, there will be other points of contention that happened in this whimsical, wonderful world. Young Thug already drew mixed reactions with the white-face album cover for the new album, Why Scuti, but its opening track deepened the divide. Young Thug has drawn a lot of controversy in recent months, but the latest example of this has nothing to do with his YSL Rico trial. Rather, it concerns some wild lyrics on the opening track of his new album and their odd pairing with this divisive cover art. On the opening cut, Ninja, on which Thugger samples A state prosecutor condemning him during the trial, he eventually makes it clear why he titled the song that way. He drops the N-word with the hard R's all over its closing moments. This made many fans raise their eyebrows due to the LP's cover art, which is a white-faced version of the Atlanta artist. Yeah, he went a little hard, gang. And it just it's for shock value and to get people talking, but I don't know if this is the way you want this conversation to start. While some listeners gave this grace as a potential subversion that speaks to wider racial conversations, no, it ain't that deep. Most people found it ridiculous or straight up offensive. A lot of this backlash isn't directed at Young Thug himself. Rather, it's to non-black fans who found this edgy or funny online, which caused its own divisive debate. So imagine, now we got to sit up here and argue with people of different races about this because they're going to find this hysterical. They don't get to say the word out loud, but now they can just repeat this over and over and have a blast. So Young Thug has opened up a whole Pandora's box of nonsense. This is going to be your 8-year-old's nightmare when he's online and he's playing in these chat rooms and whatever. This is going to be a nightmare. I'm just going to be honest. Thug's Instagram caption earlier this week drew criticism from fans as well. Like I quoted earlier, quote, "If you want to be the biggest, go white," he wrote. "Maybe we and other folks just missed the deeper meaning here, or the intention behind it is to cause the very same controversy we're engaging with." I don't think it's no deeper meaning. Thug always seemed to be exactly what he's giving you. I don't think he putting a whole lot of thought into this like he likes to say. I do. 90% of the time I'm thinking, well, I don't know what you think about, because this one you should have left on the cutting room floor. Now, I think the album gonna do the same amount of numbers it would have did with or without this song. I think with or without this cover. I don't think the cover is gonna make this album do any more numbers, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I don't know what the hell PR game they're playing, because it's probably working. Let me continue. Nevertheless, this still became an immediate point of debate around UY Scuti, and reactions to it range from amused to disgusted. No matter what race you identify as, elsewhere, though, others just focused on the tough beat and fiery performance on Ninja. On the other hand, other debated lines on Young Thug's UY Scuti caused discussion for different reasons. On Walk Down with 21 Savage, for example, fans wonder whether or not 21 meant to diss A$AP Rocky by referencing his assault trial. It's too vague to tell, so we think this might be a tinfoil hat situation. No, it's like Jay-Z. He made a hot line. I heard that line. I was like, okay, that's a bar. He said it ain't got, it won't be no blanks like A$AP Rocky. You could take it as a diss. It's not really a diss. It's just a hot line. He's like, listen, my guns ain't got no blanks. It's kind of, let's just be honest. It's goofy for A$AP Rocky to walk around with a gun with blanks in it. So it should be made into a hotline. You should be made a freaking meme, because that's crazy. You're walking around. You can't have guns, so you got a fake gun to what? Like, scare niggas? Like, I don't know what's going on. When I heard that in the trial, I was like, what? Why? What you walking around with? I don't know. So you could take it as a diss or not, but it should be made into a hotline because it's weird. Let me continue, man. Another thing in this wacky, wonderful world. We're still here, gang. We're still in this world that it's like, this shit feel like Alice in Wonderland with all this goofy stuff that Thug is he's the Mad Hatter. He's spinning all this weird, wacky shit. Let me continue. Young Thug name drops Gunna in a scathing UY Scuti diss. Young Thug dropped his 4th album, making his first release since getting out of jail. He took direct shots at his former collaborator Gunna on the track. Dreams rarely do come true from his new album, UY Scuti. Why would I cry over a bitch I gave to Gunna, police ass? He raps in the song. The line has been going viral on social media. A lot of this stuff is going to go viral because it's kind of crazy to say these things, gang. Let's just be honest. Like, now they want to know who the bitch, who he's talking about. That it's like, yes, it's going to go viral. It's going to go viral. Thug and Gunna have been at odds since their arrest in the YSL RICO case back in 2022. That same year, Gunna took a plea deal to get out of jail, sparking allegations of cooperating with authorities, while he denied the rumor his relationship with Young Thug never healed. He absolutely 100% cooperated, because for you to say your YSL is a gang and a record label, and I've seen the gang in action, you're cooperating at that point, so you clearly cooperated, because the authorities want you to say that because it's going to strengthen their case. They thought it didn't do anything for the case because the case was weak. Everything else around the case was based on hearsay, conjecture, and people actually telling. And Woody and a lot of other people didn't really make it easy for the prosecution. So it didn't work out in their favor, and they had to let everybody go. But they put stipulations on everybody just to keep them scared, keep them in line, and make sure they can come back and get them on some other shit down the line. But it is what it is, and he certainly did cooperate. I know his lawyer believes otherwise, and his lawyer's going to bat for him because he knows that street cred shit means a lot out here in these streets, especially to his career. But it didn't really affect his career like they thought, and he moved on. Most of these people nowadays, gang, they just want good music. As you can see, they don't care about did he snitch, did he not snitch. They usually find reasons to side with the person that told, because most of these people listening to this music are not street people. Let me continue. Young Thug and YFN Lucci in their feud with a surprise feature on each other's albums, which is kind of surreal. I mean, I don't know a lot about these guys, but I do know that these guys were trying to off each other for quite some time, and just to come out and just, I'm just going to be honest. Let me just say this. It's a good thing that they're showing unity, but to just pop up out of nowhere and not explain what is going on, you just pop up, the verse just pops up, and you just pop up in, like, I don't know if people can believe that this thing is healed, whatever. This could be for show. This could be for the courts. This could be mandated by the courts. Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's just like, instead of explaining, okay, they have spoken on it, but they spoke on it after it dropped, and they kind of were like, it was kind of vague. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think that it got to be more, to me, to show real unity. It has to be more than two random verses and be like, yo, we've been at it for a long time. People dropped on our side, people dropped on his side, da-da-da. I get it, but it feels a little hollow to me. I'm just going to be honest. I feel like you got to actually put the work in to make the streets understand this ain't just two verses. We really mean this. We really are trying to heal this community. We're really trying to, and I know you can't go to Atlanta right now, but they can figure out a way to make this a real truce and to make it, okay, we really didn't just drop verses. We really done. The beef is done. Y'all can stop beefing out there in the streets, because you know they're still doing whatever out there in the hood. It is what it is. Young Thug and YFN Lucci stunned the Atlanta hip-hop scene by ending their feud and appearing on each other's albums released the same day. Young Thug and YFN Lucci shocked the hip-hop world Friday by appearing on each other's album, signaling an end to a years-long feud that once split Atlanta's rap scene down the middle. So that's major, that's big. Salute to them for doing that. I think they need to follow it up and keep at it, and make sure that the young and the older people that are in Atlanta know, and around the world, around the globe, know that this isn't some token truce just for the government to stay off our ass. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. All right, let me continue. Young Thug fires the staff after Rod Wave's verse was left off the album. It's just so much stuff. How do you leave somebody's verse off the album? How does this even happen? How does someone have two copies of the same song? You got the song, somebody they're clicking and dragging. Okay, I got that one. Okay, that one. They clicking and dragging. They happen to click the wrong one and put the whole album in. No one checked this. Like, no one. Like, it's really weird. Let me continue if y'all don't know what happened. Young Thug dropped his long-awaited album, You by Scuti, on Friday, but the celebration hit a sour note when he realized a Rod Wave feature had been left off the final cut, prompting him to publicly apologize and promise that heads would roll. Now, you easily can put that back on, but it still takes time to do all that. Everybody's streaming now. The album is out. You don't want to change something in the middle of people listening to it, this, that, and the third. That is a fumble. That is a goof. A Thug should have listened to that whole thing before it went up. And I know that they probably like, he did, but apparently he didn't, because somehow, some way, this thing still got out there. Thug should have listened to this shit 50 times before that thing went up. She listened to it as it was put up. There's no way you could tell me that you released this without one of the most crucial features on the album. There's no way that you could tell me that's an accident. That's weird. That's strange, and it don't make no sense. But that means your team they got too much going on. It's discombobulated. They don't know. They really, it's not in sync over there. You guys are distracted. You're distracted. There's no way you leave that verse off this album. Let me continue. He promises that heads will roll, someone will be fired. He took to social media early Friday to clear the air about the missing verse from Blaming Jesus, which is the song that Rod Wave was supposed to be on. Quote, Rod Wave had a verse on Blaming Jesus, and I'm sorry to the fans that my team didn't put it on that song. Doing some firing in the morning, and the song will be fixed tomorrow. I'm sorry to his fans. Now, I want to know who gets fired. Like Jeremy, Randy, Risha, one of y'all put your badge on the table. I don't care who. Don't care. Don't say nothing. One of you got to go. I don't know who it's going to be. All three of you going to go. Like, who do you decide did it wrong? Like, who's responsible for putting this stuff up? Like, what's going on? It don't make no sense. Like, it got to be more than one person. It got to be checks and balances with a project this big. It has to be more people checking and balancing Yo, nobody caught that his verse wasn't there. Nobody. Again, this could be an honest mistake, or this could be more publicity so people could come back tomorrow and stream the whole shit again. It's a lot of stuff going on, gang. People get that he said he thinks a lot. Maybe he thought about doing this way. Who knows? It'll be fixed tomorrow. The mistake didn't go unnoticed, especially with anticipation high for UI Scuti, which marks Young Thug's return. The album includes 20 tracks, Rod Wave has a loyal following, and the missing verse left many disappointed. Thug's response was swift and unapologetically direct. Someone on his team would be out of a job. So, we're still in this wonderful, whimsical world of nonsense, things that don't make no sense to me. And probably most of you, I don't know how we get a missing verse. You get him talking about his brother, and this, that, and the third. You get him his girlfriend that he claims went back to her ex is on the album, and he's at her show popping out the back. It's a wonderful world of chaos and weirdness that we have privy to. This is what we get to see, and somehow we are entertained. Let me continue, man, because it feels like what we have is something that probably by design is kind of creepy. It's kind of weird. And the thing about it is, what we're getting in rap in and of itself, we're getting more gimmicks and antics and this, that, and the third, right? We're getting people who should actually stop dealing with each other. They keep dealing with each other. Like all this stuff. Like most of the people on this album, he trashed them, right? But I guess they forgave him. They wrap it up. They real niggas, right? Or whatever. And now they're on the album. 21's on the album. Features on the album. Mariah's on the album. All these people that have every reason to step away, walk away, they still stayed around because I think some of the stuff is, yeah, they like him and they cool with him, but a lot of the stuff is this is building of brands, and your brand continues with every release that you're on, every single thing, good, bad, or indifferent. All the controversy keeps your brand going. You still need these things, right? Drake would have been great to put himself on here as well, because it's going to be more controversy. It would have been more, oh, Drake's on the album, da, da. So it's like a lot of people are thriving right now off of nonsense instead of just the music. And let's just get to the music. I think most of this stuff is generic. A lot of these beats are very basic. A lot of this stuff I can hear on Madden. Like, I can hear this stuff in video games, 2K. So it's not like anything really groundbreaking in here. And then I think the way that the tracks are listed and some of the concepts are just very, very mediocre. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff could hit. Like I said, if you're into that, you're going to have a field day. It's going to be awesome. But some of the stuff to me is extremely forgettable. It's very like passive and just, you know, at 1 minute he's contrite, and in the next minute he's this boss back in the head of the table, and he's tough and rough and all this. And I'm like, gang, like, I don't know, man. I like my hip hop to be a little more consistent, right? Like, at this point, we know Thug can't do half this stuff, like all this gangster stuff. We know he can't do most of that stuff. He got to stay away from, right? So it's like we're getting a man that's just really talking about being hot in the music industry. That's all he really can be really talking about, because he can't really run things like he used to because they're watching him. Let's just be honest. They're gonna be listening to everything he's doing. They're watching. They would love to get him back in there again and give him them 40 years they was trying to give him in the first place. So he's not gonna be the wild and reckless Thug we used to know. So we're just talking about a guy that's just hurt. He's hurt. He's upset. He feels like he was betrayed. But gang, you're out. Celebrate that, right? And I get it. He's supposed to talk about everything that he was feeling in prison, because that's what this album is. There's a lot of stuff that he wrote while he was in prison. He didn't know he was going to get out, this, that, and the third. But you're out. You need to be a little more celebratory. You need to be like a little more focused on doing some more creative music. I feel like some of this stuff feels rushed. It feels like, okay, let's just get the beat going. Let's get the raps on there. Boom. Let's get the feature. Boom. Let's get this done. Like, it feels rushed. It feels like strike while the iron is hot. And to me, it's not gaining no new, to me, it's not going to gain any new fans. It's just going to gain the people that already liked him or like what he did, because I don't feel like it's superly overly awesome with the wordplay. I think he was mostly better when he was mumbling half this shit. It was like, you know what I'm saying, you got a better vibe and a better quality. I'm just gonna be honest. Now he does rap this, that, and the third, and he's trying. I give him respect for trying to clean up his name with the way he's rapping now. He got his, you can hear him clearly. He's legible. You know what I'm saying, you can follow what he's trying to say. But I don't think that leads to better music just because you're saying your words clear and you've taken off a lot of auto-tune. Maybe you need to put it back on. I don't know what's going on, but end of the day, I'm not disrespecting the man. He's made the art, and a lot of people like it and enjoy it. That's all that matters. He's going to get the numbers. I don't know what it's going to do, 90K, 120K. I don't know, but he released it at a tough time because Cardi's coming out, and that's going to be, you know what I'm saying, more stuff is coming right after that. So I don't know how the staying power of this album. He's going to have to work the album. He's just going to have to work the record, keep dropping videos, just keep doing shows. The numbers will go up if he just stays on. A lot of these people, they fall back once the album drops, and they do a little here, a little there. He got a tour. He got to just stay on his album, and if he want his fans to support and be happy for him, then he just got to do his job. That's all I got to say about that, man. This thing was, I think it's a wild ride how we got here, and a lot of this stuff to me is par for the course if your whole intention is to shock and awe and make people go like, oh, gasp, horror, right? I think he did that, but some of the ways he did it, they're not going to jive with me, man. I don't know, man. I'm done talking about this, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG, man, listen. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live on The What Show. Me, TJ, and Fliz, we will definitely be discussing this Young Thug album about 9:15 on all my social media platforms. Tap in. Let us know what you think in the comments, all right? I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.